Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 12th day of November 2023. Just letting you know right now, next week's meeting is going to be on Thursday again. It's not going to be on Wednesday. I have to take that whole day off next week. So next week's meeting will be on Thursday at 2:30. Okay, so things I want to discuss today, obviously, tvtrades.com, the scalp tool and the swing trade and the free trial. They're all things we want to discuss. This right here is something that I'm working on, improvement to the scalp tool. But I want to go over the scalp tool and the swing trade tool individually. Okay. Now, Sid, you had asked if it's possible to switch to candles. It is possible to switch to candles. Now, it used to not be. A year and a half ago, you weren't able to do that with range bars, but now you can go here and go to symbol, and in here, go to candles, like that. Okay, that's how you switch them. Hey, Wayne, that's how you switch them. You go like that. Okay, that'll switch your bars to candles. You don't want to do it up here. You don't want to try to do it from up here. Okay, you don't want to do that because it'll take you off for range bars if you do it from there. You have to do it through here. Go here, go to symbol, and go to candles. Okay, that is how you do that, Sid. Alright, so the thing that I was telling you is I want to go through the swing trade a little bit. Well, I want to completely go through the swing trade from start to finish and explain the swing trade in kind of like a format where I can make a video clip out of it. I want to do that with the swing trade. I want to do it with the scalp tool, and then I want to go over the stuff that I've done with the scalp tool since we've last spoken. And would I do my demo using candles? No. No, because it messes me up. I'll do this using candles, okay? I'll do this using candles. But I'm not going to trade live scalping using candles. It messes me up, Sid. But I'll show it to you over here on the swing trade. I can do that using candles. Okay. Alright. Now. Let's just get started with the swing trade stuff. Okay. Now, the swing trade, of all the tools that you get when you sign on with us. Now, for anybody that hasn't taken the trial yet, if you do take the trial, you're going to get an email that shows you a whole bunch of different things. You can get a whole bunch of different tools. You'll get access to this one here, the TV trades, the range sniper, the range trigger, the beta, and the swing trade. You'll get access to those 5 tools for the trial. And when if you subscribe, you get access to the same tools. I don't have any half memberships, so you don't get access to 3 or any kind of thing like that. You either get all, or you get none. Now that can be overwhelming. There's a lot of information that comes at you all at once. There's all the Telegram channels. I think there's 5 different Telegram channels that trades are generated in automatically all day long. I'll show you. Here's one right here, for instance. It's had 353 trades generated since I last looked at it. And here's some from today. All right, these are swing trades. The ones with the star on it, the ones that begin with the star on it like that, those are generated from the latest swing trade criteria. All right, which is this. Now, the swing trade. Let me get started with this. The swing trade is probably the simplest tool that we have. All right. Starting this, I'm going to write this down. 237. The swing trade is probably the simplest tool that we have because all you really have to do is put it on the chart. All right. Now I have this chart here, and this chart is a candle chart per Sid's request. You just have to put the swing trade on. All right. Just click on it one time, and it's on. And that's all you have to do. It gives you all the information you need from there. Now these are all range bars, right? These are 100 range bars, so every bar is 100 ticks high. Every single bar is 100 ticks high. Now, the way that this works is when you get a gray arrow like that, that's pointing down, or a gray arrow that's pointing up like that, pointing down like that, pointing up like that, it's telling you that the next, if it's pointing down, it's telling you the next down close is likely to be the trigger arrow, the trigger bar, okay? The black arrow, likely to be the trigger bar. If it's pointing up, it's telling you the next up close is likely to be the trigger bar. Pointing down, the next down close. Pointing up, the next up close. You see? That's how simple it is. You can do it on any time frame you want, but you see I'm using a 100 range bar right here. And so for the 100 range bar, let me just explain this. If you go to here, go out to targetviewtrades.com, and right here on the home page, this is what I use for the different types of stops, and when I move stops to break even. This is what I use for my risk management right here. Okay, so for a 100 range bar, I start out with a 110 tick stop, goes to break even after 40 ticks in profit, and it has a 150 tick target. Now the target can be bigger than that if you want it to be, but that's what I use. You can use whatever you want, but this is available to all of you right here at targetviewtrades.com, right on the home page. I put it right on the home page for you, so you don't have to go up here and click on this and then go to here to risk management. Okay, it's the same stuff right here, but I put it right on the home page for you. Blew it up and everything. So with a 100 range bar, that's what you're doing. It's like right in here, you know, you could have taken profit on this. It went over 100 ticks into profit, so you could have taken profit on that. The worst you would have gotten is a break even. Same thing with that. This one here, you would have gotten a break even on. This one here, you could have definitely taken profit, maybe 150 ticks. This one probably 150 ticks. This one looks like it probably would have stopped out minus 110. This one looks like it would have been 100. I'm going to break even. It has to go 40 ticks into profit, or 10 points into profit. So, you know, it would have gone from the close of this bar, the open of this bar, which I believe was right here, was the open of the bar, and 10 points from there, 10 points from the close of the prior bar. This is why I don't like using candlesticks, because I don't know where exactly everything is. But if I flip that back to candlesticks, to bars, so I can see exactly where the close and the open was. Yes, okay, so the open was right here. So from the open, at 28.5, it ran all the way up to 41.50. So it ran, over 50 ticks, I think, or about 50 ticks into profit before it pulled back down. So in this case right here, you would have had a break even, and all the other ones, you would have had either a break even or a profit. This one would have stopped you out. But that's how the swing trade works. That's all you have to do. Now you don't have to have it on 100 range if you don't want to. You could have it on a 19 range, and I'll probably trade it on a 19 range today a little bit. And on a 19 range, you would have, go back here, risk management, 19 range, 25 tick stop that trails to break even after 10 ticks in profit. Okay, so right here, we've already had a whole bunch in profit on that. The entry was here at 70, and it ran all the way up to 74.25. So it ran 17 ticks into profit already. All right, and that's all you have to do. That is it. The black arrow appears at the end when the bar closes. When the black arrow appears, all right. So you get notification that the black arrow is likely to appear when you have the gray arrow. Okay, the gray arrow shows up, and then the black arrow will appear. If you get an up close on that bar, you're probably going to have a black arrow. So you can be proactive and put your order on ahead of time because you know where the bar is going to close. Okay. Now these are range bars. If they were minute bars, it would update intra bar, but because they're range bars, the bar has to close before it's going to give you any information. If I put this on like a minute bar like this, this bar right here gives intra bar updates. Okay, so you would know in here if it were going to be like this bar right here, you would know ahead of time that it was going to be a black arrow before the bar closed, because it would be flashing the black arrow as it got up here to this point. But I didn't really make this stuff for minute bars. I made it for range bars. So I'll go back to my 100 range. We're on a 19 range right there for a minute. Right. So what I expect out of this, I expect it to get up here at least to the swing high. That's what I expect, and it's just about there. Now beyond the swing high, look at the way price is acting, the way it always acts, right? It does that, and then it retraces about 50%, and that's just about where the swing high is. So I'd expect right here it's going to find some resistance at this 50%, and might push down there. And push down how far? Push down this far, right here. That's what I would expect out of that. All right, now it might punch through this level right here, but it's at resistance right here. Okay, so I would trail my stop really close, and if it breaks through it, great. If it doesn't, well, you're going to take some good profit on that. But that's it. Does it work better with minute charts? No. It might work great with minute charts. I don't use it with minute charts. I just know that as far as the trading mechanics go, it's a lot easier to do with range bars. All right, because range bars give you a lot more information. Now, what time is this? 2:43. just explain the range bars part of it right now. Range bars give you a lot more information because when you have a range bar, like this bar right here, right now, okay, the current bar that we're on, let me move this to this guy right here. The current bar that we're on right here, you see, I know what the top of the bar is. Top of the bar is right there at 74.75. It's a 19 range, so I know the bottom of the bar is going to be 5 points away from there. That's where I would have my sell stop limit. It would be 5 points away. 5 points is 20 ticks on the ES. It's 20 ticks. So if I'm going to sell on a down close, I know exactly where the down close is going to be ahead of time, right? It's going to be 5 points away from the top. So I have that information right now ahead of time. So I can be proactive and put an order on there. If I knew that was going to satisfy the rules for a trade setup, I could put my order on ahead of time. Like right here, when you had the gray arrow and you knew that the up close was going to give you the black arrow, you could put your order on ahead of time because you knew what the bottom of the bar was. You knew ahead of time that the low of the bar was here at 65. So you knew you should have your buy stop 5 points above that at 70. All right, you knew it before the bar closed. You'd have your buy stop limit order right here at 70, and then when it closed 1 tick below 70. That's why it's a 19 range. It closed at 69.75. You'd get filled there at 70, and you'd be in the trade. Okay, that's why I use range bars. If you use the minute bars, I know with the range bars, I was able to show you here with the 19 range, I have a 25 tick stop. I know that every single time ahead of time. I have a 25 tick stop. Then I'm going to trail to break even after I get 10 ticks in profit. I can leave it at a 45 tick target. I usually do, but you don't have to have that. I hit the 45 tick target on the NQ today 3 or 4 times. But I'm always going to have a 25 tick stop because I know how big every bar is going to be. Now, if you were to go to minute bars like you had just asked about, I don't know how big any of these bars are going to be. I have no idea how big this bar is going to be. All I know is when it's going to close. I know when it opened, right here, where it opened. It opened right there. The open was 71.25. I have no idea where it's going to close. I have no idea how big the bar is going to be. All I know is when it's going to close. So I can't use that information yet. All right? That's why I use range bars. So Sid, your question about does it work better with minute charts? I don't use minute charts, so I don't know. But I do know that if you did use minute charts, you would have to adjust your risk and reward on every single trade. Like right here, where you got into this one right here, your stop would have to be below this bar. All right, so your stop would have to be somewhere from the open of that bar down to here. And your target should be right up here. This is where your target would be, right here. So it just about ran up to the target. All right, but like this one right over here, your stop would be a little less because it only have to be up above the bar that got you into the trade. Your target, well, in this case, your first target would actually be all the way down here. All right, but you see this one right here? It didn't give you a black bar on that one, and it didn't give you a black bar on that one. And the reason it didn't is because it didn't close at the top of the bar, and this didn't close at the bottom of the bar. All right, you don't know until the bar actually closes with them. I mean, you don't know until the bar actually closes with range bars either, but you're more likely to have it with the range bar than you are with the minute bar. Okay. Bobby says it doesn't work well with minute bars. He's tried. Yeah, I didn't think so either. Yeah, blow up the chart, please. There you go. How's that? All right, now my audio's okay, right? I had one fella sent me an email and said my audio is never good, and I totally disagree with him because when I hear the recordings after the fact, the audio is great. So, I wouldn't recommend using minute bars for this stuff. All right, I'm going to go back to my 19 range and see right here we found resistance as I thought we would. And now this is the leg length that it should go down right now. All right, if it's going to do the leg length down, it should do it from roughly this right here is what you should see. All right, now in the time span, that should happen while we're doing this session. Well, yeah, definitely while we're doing the session. If it's going to do that, it's going to do it while we're doing this session. The next level of support is all the way down here. All right, but we'll see what it does. I mean, it could keep going up right here. It's just found this resistance right now, and that's why I was saying I would trail my stop really close right there when it finds that resistance area. Trail the stop close. You'd be out of it already. All right, with some decent profit. Now, that was a swing trade, right? The swing trade is a really super simple thing. You get the gray arrow. You know, if you get a gray arrow that's pointing up, you know the next up close is likely to be a trigger. All right, if it happens on the next bar, the next up close is likely to be a trigger if it happens on the next bar. All right, if it doesn't happen on the next bar, then you might not get a black arrow. All right, the black arrow happens after the bar closes, but you know ahead of time that it's likely to happen. Okay, so you get the up arrow, the next up close is likely to give you the black arrow. You get the down arrow, the next down close is likely to give you the black arrow. So you can plan on that. All right, put your order on ahead of time and plan on it. It's a really, really simple trade setup. It's the easiest out of all of them. It's the easiest one that we have, I think. Now, I know some of you guys came for the live trading part of this, and I will get to the live trading stuff, but usually that happens. Most of the live trades happen toward the end of the session in the last 15, 20 minutes. That's usually when I get most of the live trading done. And so far on the live trading, did I pull that thing up? Here it is. We are averaging $4,265 per Wednesday. That's $426 with one contract, or $4,265 with 10 contracts. That's where we are right now in 27 days. Now, I haven't taken any trades yet in this session, but when I do, I will update this. Today is 11/12. Again, for anybody that's getting in right now that wasn't here right at the beginning, next week will be on Thursday. I won't be doing it on Wednesday. I have to take all of Wednesday off. Next week will be on Thursday. Okay? All right. So here is what I'm going to do next. All right. That was all the swing trade, and I showed the advantage of range bars too. So it was 243 to 250. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys is the scalp tool. All right, I'm just going to put that on by itself, the Scalp Tool Beta. Now, let's get rid of this stuff right here. Now, the Scalp Tool can go on any time frame as well. You know, just like the range bar. I mean, like the swing trade, it can go on any time frame. All this stuff is still accurate. I'm just going to delete it all right now. Okay, so I can get into the Scalp Tool. Now, let me just turn it. See, I put this on, and one of the things when we first did the Scalp Tool, we were looking at this. All right, when I first created it, we were looking at this. We're looking down here for the fade. If you get an up close, right? If you get an up close like this, and you get the fade, that suggests that it's weakening, and it's going to start going down right after that. All right, if you get the up close and you get a fade, all right, like that right there, you get the up close and a fade, you get the up close and a fade, you get the up close and a fade right there. It suggests the next bar is going to be weak, all right, and possibly turn around right there and possibly change directions. Okay, as it did in every one of those ones that I just showed you. So, I'm going to answer your questions in a few minutes, okay? Once I get done with this. The fade is going into it, Mark. When it's going into it. It doesn't actually have to be going into the overbought or oversold, as long as you get the fade on an up close. But this is what it was like in my first edition. I know some of you guys really took off with that, and you built stuff around it. And so it was the beta version. It's a Scalp Tool Beta. All right. That's what it says right here, beta. So I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it now. The next one is a gamma. I'll show you that in a few minutes. But the whole idea behind this was I wanted to give you an indication of when it was likely to turn down on the very next bar. To give you an indication that the next bar is going to change directions. It's going to give you a reversal on the very next bar. That's what I was trying to give you. Okay. And when it goes into the overbought on a fade, when it goes into the oversold on a fade, it's telling you that the next bar, there aren't too many of them here on the oversold. Here's one right here. It's telling you that the next bar is likely to change directions. Okay, here's one right here. It's telling you the next bar is likely to change directions. All right. That's the idea behind it. That was the idea behind the first iteration of it. Okay. Can I turn on the vertical lines? I am going to turn all that stuff on in just a few minutes. Okay. So you'll see the setups. I just wanted to point it out down here and show you what it is down here on the bottom in the slingshot. I mean in the oscillator. Now, that was the first iteration, right? And there was some ambiguity into whether this was a fade or not, and is this a fade, or there was ambiguity within it. So I changed it to actually go in the direction. If you shut that one off and you turn this one on, now, I mean, you still get some that have the fade, but a lot of the time you're going to get it to actually be an up close where it turns down like this right here. So if you get an up close and it turns down, that's definitely a trade that you want to take. It's still going to have the fade on some of them. I couldn't get it to do it on every single one, but you still have the fade there. But if you get it so it actually changes direction like that, then those work out really well. All right, if you get an up close when this moves down, that next bar is very highly likely going to be changing directions. Okay, so in this case right here, where it goes down on the up close right there, it goes down. See how that closed up? Let me bring price down closer, and I'll blow it up for you. Okay, so right here where price closed up at the top of the bar and this went down, that suggests selling the open of the next bar. Now, Sid, let me just change it to a candle for you for a minute here, just for a minute. Okay, so it's the same thing. So here was the open of that bar, but this was a green bar right here, up close, green body. That says to sell the open of the next bar. Okay? Right, that's what this version was like. Is that a long or a short, Mark asks? Right here, where it goes down right here on an up close, you would sell the open of the next bar. You would sell the open of the next bar. Right here, if it goes up on a down close, you buy the open of the next bar. If it goes up on a down close, bring it closer so you can see. This is the down close, and it went up on a down close. You buy the open of the next bar. Okay, you're still going to have some that do the fade, like this one right here. Still did the fade right here. Give you a fade on an up close. You can still sell the open of the next bar if you want to. But a lot of those get eliminated, and they actually turn directions on you. That's what I was trying to do. I tried to code it so it actually changed directions, so it removes the ambiguity in those things. Okay? Now, that's how it works. Okay, that's how the logic works, to give you guys an indication of when to trade, what direction to trade in, all that stuff. Just the highest probability opportunities that are there. Like right here, we should have shorted the open of this bar. And this is a 19 range. I mean, this works on all different ranges, right? You go down to a 4 range if you want. Just go down to a 4 range, and it works the same way on a 4 range. Right here, you get the fade at the top of this bar. You can sell the open of the next bar. Right here, you get an up close with a down line. You can sell the open of that bar. Right here, you get a down close. I mean, an up close with a down line right there. You sell the open of the next bar. So it doesn't matter what time frame you're on. The logic is all the same. Okay, it's all the same. And that's for all the things that I'm showing you right now. They're all for different time frames of different range bar sizes, not different time frames. You can't go to like minute bars and hour bars and 30-minute bars and stuff like that. You can, but it's just not going to work as well. Range bars are best. All right, range bars are always best. You have so much more information with range bars. I don't know why anybody would trade with any other kind of bar. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. And am I gonna put the arrows on? The arrows are already on there. That's the next thing. By default, I don't have anything turned on, but you can turn them on right here. All right. So there's the arrows. Now that arrow says right there. You got it moving down. It says to sell the open of the next bar. This one, you got it moving up. It says to buy the open of the next bar. This one right here. See, it wasn't doing it in the overbought, but you got an up close with a down line, so to sell the open of that. This one you got an up close with a down bar, says to buy the open of that. So I put that on there for the I put arrows on there to capture the situations. It doesn't do it only when it's overbought and oversold. It does it whenever it runs opposite to the bar. Alright, so if this is going down and the bar is closing up, you're going to get a down arrow. If this is going up and the bar is closing, if this is going down and the bar is closing up, you're going to get an up arrow. Alright, I'm still working on that, okay? But it does, this information down here is where you're going to get the potential before the trade. I was working on that, Mark. The question is, does it tell you before the potential trade? I've been working on that, and getting something that does that makes me end up having to change everything else. So I'm trying to come up with a solution where you're going to be able to see ahead of time before you have an arrow, but I'm not there yet. You know, with the swing trade, I got it so you can see ahead of time before there's going to be an arrow. But with the scalp tool, I'm not there. I did have something that was working really well, but I undid it because it overtraded. It just traded too much, and that was the thing that that you guys had seen before. This, I think, right here, it just overtraded. And it's a lot to look at. But whenever you had a divergence like this, in this case right here, you would sell the open of the next bar. And in this case right here, you would buy the open of the next bar. And in this case right here, you'd sell the open of the next bar. In this case right here, you'd sell the open of the next bar. And in this case right here, you'd buy the open of the next bar. It was a lot to look at, and it traded just way too much. I don't want you guys trading 1,000 times a day, because I know some of you will, and and that will kill you mentally. So Sid, curling up or down? If this is curling down and you get an up close, that's when you would get a signal. All right. If it's curling down and you get an up close, I'm sorry, it's closing down and you get an upward movement down here, like this right here. A down close with a move up, you're going to get the up arrow. This right here, the up close with the move down, you're going to get a down arrow. Okay, it's showing the dichotomy when it's inverted. Right, but I don't have it working as well as I want it to work at this point. But I do have it working pretty well. I mean, I've made money on it every time I've traded it. So it's there and it can be used. Now I put the arrows on there. You also have the option of putting vertical lines on the charts like that. Okay, you can have a vertical line on the chart instead of the arrow, or as well as the arrow, to show you where all the trades are. Okay, now the thing with the vertical lines is they only go back so far. You can only have like 30, I think, or something like that. I guess that's more than 30. But there is a limited number. Yeah, there it is. It just stopped. There's a limited number of lines that they allow you to paint. All right, and then they just stop painting them. But the arrows keep going. They allow you to paint arrows forever. See, all the arrows are still there, but it stopped painting the lines. That's the limitation of TradingView. It's not me coding anything wrong. Okay. So how? So you take the open after the green arrow. Yep, you buy the open after the green arrow, and you sell the open after the red arrow. Right? You sell the open after the red arrow. You buy the open after the green arrow. It's as simple as that. Buy the open after the green arrow. Buy the open after the green arrow. This one wouldn't have worked out. Buy the open after the green arrow. Sell the open after the red arrow. Buy the open after the green arrow. That one wouldn't have worked out. Sell the open. Buy the open. Sell the open. That would have eventually worked out. It would have taken a while. Now your stop on this is going to be just a little bit bigger than the range bar that you're using. Now for the 19 range, I use a 25 tick stop, so it would have kept you in this trade down to here. Okay, it's the candle after the arrow. The arrow. Let me go back to the end of this again. You see how this bar is forming right here? It could possibly have an arrow on it. All right, it could possibly have an arrow. We won't know until the bar closes. I don't think it's going to, but it's possible that it could. If this gave an up close with a down line right here, well, it's not going to give you that. But if it gave a down close with an up line, if that turned up on a down close on this bar, then it would give you an arrow. Okay, but it doesn't happen until the bar closes. So it's the bar after that you actually take action on. So this is saying sell that bar. This is saying buy that bar. This is saying sell that bar. And this is saying buy that bar, buy that bar, buy that bar. And keep in mind, these are scalps, right? It should happen on the very next bar. If it doesn't happen on the very next bar, then it's probably not going to happen at all. Right? Like this one right here would have stopped you out. This one here happened on the very next bar. This one, it happened on the very next bar. It went all the way down here on the very next bar before it pulled up. This one happened on the very next bar. This one, next bar. This one, next bar. This one did not. Would have stopped you out. This one, next bar. So it should happen on the very next bar. Okay? Yes. I know. People have a tendency to complicate things. I'm trying to simplify it, make it as easy as I can for you. You know, as easy as I can. If we did something like this, we go in here and in bars like that. Okay, so you don't really even see the bars. All you know is you got an up arrow, just buy the open to the next bar. You get a down arrow, sell the open to the next bar. You get a down arrow, sell the open to the next bar. You get an up arrow, buy the open, buy the open, buy the open, sell the open. And that is a buy the open, buy the open. Okay, can you let it pull back before buying or selling on a larger time frame? That's a fair question. Let me bring it up and I'll put it on a larger time frame so you can look at it. Let me just fix this because I hate those thin ones. Do not use phantom bars. If you use phantom bars, you see how this bar right here is moving up and down, but you don't see where it's already been? You see how you don't know where it's been? That's the phantom part. You don't know where it's been. If you do that, you know how high it's already gone and how much room it's got to go on the bottom side. If you leave that thing on, you don't know where that bar is. So make sure you do not use phantom bars with range bars. Okay. Alright, the question was, can you let it pull back before buying or selling on a larger time frame? Let's go to a larger time frame. Alright, now this is the scalp tool. It's not the swing trade tool. You can let it pull back. Alright, it's not really made for the larger time frame. But you can let it pull back some and get a little bit better entry on it. But a lot of times if you know, it's going to have that little bit of movement right at the beginning, and then if you let it pull back, it's just going to completely go in the wrong direction on you. It's really, the scalp tool is not really made for the larger time frame. The swing trade tool is made for the larger time frame. Okay. See, some of these are working out really well, but I would be hesitant to use this on the larger time frame. Now, that kind of brings me to the next thing. Okay. In my working with all this stuff, you know, like when I created this thing down here, I mean, you guys love this. I love this too when you look at it, but there's periods in here where you don't see, like right here, where you see a scalp. Yeah, where is it? Right here. Something like this one right here. Now this would have worked out fine anyway because you would have sold the open to the next bar, so it went down quite a bit before it pulled back. But you don't see when you have a situation like, you know, if you do it bar by bar, if you go bar by bar, like right there, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Hang on, we'll do it bar by bar. Here's one right there. So right there you would sell the open to the next bar. Oh, that's currently right now. You would sell the open to this bar. Sorry, let's go back somewhere I haven't seen anything yet. Okay, and this, shut off the lines in the arrows. I didn't mean to do that. Let's go down here. Shut off the lines in the arrows. And I have too many things on here too. Warn. See, the warn was in there to tell you that the next bar is likely to be the trigger. That's what this was in here to let you know. Next bar was likely to be the trigger. I actually switched it around so the warn was actually the trigger. But let me just take all that stuff off for now so it's not too confusing. I'll take some of it off. So I worked with this, and this is what I showed you a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome, and it is awesome, but it's too much. So let's just go a couple bars at a time here, and we'll go one bar at a time, and we'll see when we have a trade set up. All right, watch over here on the very edge. Okay, so right in here, possibly, right there, buy the open to the next bar. Okay, so it gives you that arrow right there. You buy the open to the next bar, that's fine. That one worked out okay. Right here, nothing. Right there, nothing. Right there, nothing. Go to the Scalp Tool. You really only need to look and act on the green or red arrow. That is correct. Yep. Okay. So here it looks like it's going to set something up. You would sell the open of the next bar right there, and it's got the red arrow up there. So you sell the open of the next bar, and you see right there how it didn't go down. This is probably going to end up stopping out, and right there it would have stopped out. Okay, and so as you go through, right here is where they cross. When they cross, it begins the setup right there. When they cross like that, that begins the setup. So right now, if the red goes all the way down to the bottom, and it didn't. Okay, so right now, it looks like it's going to give you a long trade here. So right there, you would buy the open of the next bar. Right now, buy the open of the next bar. And that one worked out fine. Okay, so you're waiting for it to cross. There's a cross. Now, the red has to get all the way up to the top. If it gets all the way up to the top and it didn't, no trade. Okay. You see how you're looking at it bar by bar right now. Okay, and that's how it plays out. So there would have been one stop out and 2 successful trades so far. Now right here, if the red keeps going down, that will be a trade. If it doesn't keep going down, then, and it didn't, then you don't have a trade. Okay, and right here, nothing. Right here, if the blue goes all the way up, then you'll have a trade. Right there, you would sell the open of the next bar right now. See the red arrow up there? You would sell the open of the next bar. And that probably wouldn't have worked out. But right here, you see it happened again. So you would buy the open of the next bar. You have the blue arrow right there. So that worked out. See, that's what you're looking at. And this trade's just a ton. Right here, you'd sell the open of the next bar. You get the red arrow right there. And this is 100 range. So from 100 range, where we did this one right here, where you sold the open of this bar, the open of that bar was 47.50 and the low was 36.50. So it dropped 11 points. So that's 44 ticks. So your stop would have gone to break even, or you could have locked in some profit on that one. On this one right here, you would have sold. The open is 275 and it went down to 90.75. So that's 12 points, 48 ticks. Your stop would have gone to break even, or you could have locked in some profit on that one. Okay. That's using this. Now it trades a lot. That's kind of why I stopped pursuing it, because it traded so much. Like right here, you would sell the open of the next bar. And right there, it went 100 ticks. Right here, you'd sell the open of the next bar again. And that went, if you look at the bar itself, from the open 76 to a low of 60, so it went 16 points. So that was 50, whatever it is. 16 times 4. It's 64 ticks down before it moved up. So, so that was a good trade too. Every one of these made some money. Alright? Every one of these made some money so far. This one right here, if the red keeps going, it didn't. And right there, you would sell the open of the next bar. Sell the open of the next bar. There it is. That went a lot. The difference between the B-Rev versus the scalp. This one, I was able to work it out so you had a little bit of a notice before you had an actual trade on this. That was what I was able to do with this. That's why I had the warn thing in it. I stopped pursuing it. I don't remember why I stopped pursuing it, but it had the warn thing. It would let you know ahead of time, a bar ahead of time, that you're likely to have a trade, and then it would give you the trigger on here. This was the actual trigger bar. Okay, but I made some adjustments to the code so it doesn't do that exactly the same way anymore. Okay, now let me scroll down. I want to see if Discard's here yet. He's not here again. All right. Well, this is definitely a tool that I was thinking. I called it B-Rev Diamond at one point, but then I thought it was trading too much. And as you can see here, I'm just scrolling through. On 100 range, it's not that bad because you get like 1 or 2 trades a day maybe. But when you get down to the smaller time frames, it trades a lot. And you're looking at the same stuff, but see how many trades there are right here, and that was, well, in this period right here, for an hour we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. And that one right there would have stopped out. That one would have been good. That one would have been good. That one would have been break even or better. That would have been okay. That would have been break even or better. That one would have been good. So I had one stop out in those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. 8, 9, 10. I don't know. I'm always trying to give you guys the best thing that I can make, and the thing that's actually easiest for me too. I kind of when I was doing this, Kurt, who's in here today, had wanted me to slow down when I was going through this before, because I was just pointing out all of these right here that show the obvious divergence. I was pointing all those things out where it shows the obvious divergence, and I was going really fast over the ones that didn't, the ones that stretched it out, that would have stopped out because I wasn't really seeing them that well. You know, something like this right here. Right now, that would have worked out to be an okay trade. You know, you would have opened right here. You would have been buying the open of this bar, and the open was at 150. It went up to 375, so it went 9 ticks into profit. Okay, so your stop would have gone to break even on that, or might have gone to break even on that on a 19 range. Actually, on a 19 range, I think I bumped to break even after 10 ticks in profit. So it depends on what your entry was there. But can turn on the vertical lines on the BREV. They're not. I can put them on, but they're not corresponding with the actual signals. Because when I was writing the code for it, I only completed the lines at one point during the whole process. I didn't complete it during, every step of the process. But I'm still pursuing this. I kind of put this on the back burner because I created something else. And I know this is where Discard says, I have so many things and I keep adding things and changing things. I'm not adding and changing things to confuse you guys or because I need to. I'm doing it because I want to give you the best tool that I can create for you and for me. I make a living trading. So I'm going to have to get it, create it, and trade it and make money with it before I give it to you guys. And, if I see something like this one here that just trades and trades and trades, it's okay that it trades and trades, but, it's okay for me, but how's it going to be for you? That's kind of what I want it to work for you too. I don't want to be the only one that's able to make money with it. And that doesn't help you guys at all. It helps me, but if that's the case, that I'm the only one that's able to do it, then it's just too complicated. And I can make it easier. And that's my goal, is to make the easiest, highest probability trade that you guys can use. And so toward that end, I created something else, and I think I have it over here. This guy right here. Okay. Now this one is completely backwards. Alright, what I had to do with this, I actually did reverse the colors on the background there. But this is a pretty simple thing, and this I'm not done with either. But what I'm looking for is a pullback against this down here. Now this I had to actually reverse the numbers on too. I multiplied times -1 to get it to display the way that had the best opportunities for trading. So in here, you just, the same thing. You get the green arrow or the red arrow. You sell after a red arrow. You buy after a green arrow. It's all the same stuff. Sell after a red arrow, buy after a green arrow. I'm trying to get something I'm trying to give you guys the highest probability thing. The BREV thing actually looks, compared to this, it looks actually pretty good. I hadn't compared them side by side in a while. But, so that's what I'm giving you. I will, whatever I do finish, when I finish my creation here, Sid, and it's all going to go into the Scalp Tool, alright, because I don't want to have 18 things up here under your invite only. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna consolidate some of the things that we already have. The Scalp Tool and the Swing Trade, I'll probably put them together into I could stick them all inside the TV trades, or I could stick them all inside the range trade. The range trade's already got enough things in it, though. TV trades does too. Maybe I'll just combine those into one thing. And there's a lot of stuff that you don't need. You don't need to see, all this stuff. Like all this is troubleshooting stuff. You don't need to see any of that. And in here, I have minimal settings, but you don't need to see any of those either. I want to minimize what you guys have to actually play around with, because when you start playing around with things is when you start getting distracted and not really focusing on the trading. Okay. Well, that was a lot of stuff. Now, I want to make sure I answered everybody's questions, so let me minimize all of these things in here. And this is what, the ES, right? It's the ES. Okay. Because ES just gave a down arrow right here. Now, this was not a trade right here, was it? Where did I get that down arrow from? Yeah, I got it from the Scalp Tool. Alright, it's not a trade from the B-Rev Scaled, because that did not happen here. They did not cross, so it's not a trade from here. It's a trade from the Scalp Tool if you wanted to take that right now. And the stop on that would have to be 25 ticks. Okay. That's a lot of ticks for the ES. But it is 19 range. So it should go down from here. What I showed you earlier when we first started this out, I think we had the swing trade thing on here, right? And I said this area of resistance right here, from there it should move down to this level, and I said it's probably going to do it in this session. Well, it made the first leg down, now it's pulling back, and it should be making another leg down right now. Okay, so using the Scalp Tool, you had your shorting opportunity right there. Right there. Okay, using the Scalp Tool. And that actually, that actually just took me out right there, because I had the wrong bracket on. It hasn't gone 10 ticks into profit, but it did go 4 ticks into profit. I had the bracket on that was for the 7 range. We're on a 19 range, so I can switch that bracket around to be a 19 range bracket. 19 range is a 25 by 45. Okay, so I have the right bracket on it now. Alright, questions. What is the best range to get 20 ticks on the MNQ? Well, you want to do it in one trade, Thomas? The range depends on the volatility. That's how I pick the range bar to use. On the ES, today it's been pretty volatile, so you get a lot of 19, a lot of bars on the 19 range today because it's been kind of volatile today. The overall daily range has been pretty big, but to change the brackets, well, yeah, for me, let me do it on this guy right here. Okay, and all right, so here, what you do is you go to chart like this. There's a chart, trade, that's it. Hit attach trade window to chart. Okay, and that brings up your brackets and spread it out. And I have my brackets all preset in here. So you just go up here and you choose whatever you want in here. Okay, now I haven't traded the Russell at all today, but this is how you would do it. You go in here and choose whichever one you want. So I have a 19 range. So I just click 24 by 45. And that sets up my stop is 25 ticks. My target is 45 ticks. Now, I also have in here my auto break even thing. To make it go to auto break even, I have the type set to stop. The stop offset, this is the initial stop is 25 ticks. This is when it goes to break even. If I have this set to 0, it goes to break even. If I have this set to 1, it goes to break even plus a tick. Okay? That's how I have it with the NQ. But for the Russell, I just leave it here like this. I don't trade the Russell on the 19 range, but but this is how you would do it. Okay? That's how you set it so it goes to break even automatically. This has to be stop, and this has to be offset and ticks triggered. Okay, that's how you set up to go to break even automatically. The target is 45 ticks, the stop is 25, And this is the stuff that I had set up, I preset for all of you guys. Okay, Kurt. If anybody wants this, I can send you a zip file in Telegram that has all my brackets all preset for you. Okay. But all the brackets that I have in here, there's extra ones in here that I don't use. But I'll send you something that's a little cleaner than this. Right, but for 150 range, I have 175 by 200. The 100, I have a 40 by 60. That's not right. That's not right on 100. That was, with this 40 by 60, that is right for what I was doing in that 100 range scenario. I don't know, you guys might recall a while back, I had shown you how you could trade, put everything in the single bar. So the very next bar, after you get a signal, you have a 100 range bar, you have your stop set to 40, and your target set to 60. So within that bar, you're going to have, you're either going to stop out or you're going to get your target. That was the idea behind that. Can you change the targets, alter the presets for the target and stop? You can. If you want to change the targets, you just go in here and click on target and change it right here. Change it to 55 if you want. Okay. Now that's the preset Daryl. Alright. So that'll make it a 55 target. Now you might want to rename it if you do that. And to do that, we go here to main, click on M, and go here to save configuration, and give it a new name down here. Okay, the TW config file, that's your bracket. If you look in this folder, down here, this folder, right here, you go to C, Sierra chart, and data. All the TW config files, these guys here, those are all your brackets. Okay. These skid files, those are your DOMs. That's where your data is. So this is a 2 GB file here on the MNQ. It's because it's got, like, you know, way more bars than all the other ones. And the those are your DOMs, and that's the data that's stored with that DOM. Okay, that's what the skid files are. And your chart book, this is my chart book name right here. TechU chart, that's my chart book name. Right, so the chart book is what contains all the DOMs that contain all the data, that contain all, that use all the TW config files, the brackets. Those are the files that you need. Okay. Cancel that. But that's how you set that up. So yes, Daryl, you can change all that. And once you put the actual trade on, you know, like, let me, well, if I put a trade on down here, I'll put one up here, say. Okay, wait, hang on. Oh, hang on a sec, let me fix this. So this is, detach that thing right there. Okay, detach that guy, slide it over like that. There we go. Alright. So I haven't, what haven't I done? Here it is. You can put this on. Now that I have that bracket on there, I can put that on. And you can move this around if you want, Daryl, manually, if you want to. But if you want to change a preset, how I just showed you a minute ago is how you change a preset. Alright. Yeah, Thomas, I'll send you an email that has all the things that you can join. Okay? Let me cancel this order before I forget it. I'll send you an email that's got all the things that you can join. Let me just make a note to myself. TTLL. That's your email, right? The email will be the email, Thomas, that it'll be the email that you get when you sign up for the trial. So I know you're already signed up, but it's the email that you get when you sign up for the trial, and I have all that information in it. Okay. Speaking of all that information, I just talked for an hour. I knew I was going to be talking a lot. Let me just take a break and take a drink here. That was nice. Alright, so the swing trade. This was the very first swing trade right here. That had to move up. Alright. Alright. I think, did that happen? Yeah, that happened right after we got started. Alright, they had a nice move up. I suggested it was going to stop right here and pull back. It did pull back, but it didn't keep going. We're back at that resistance area right now. If we break through the resistance area, the next level of resistance is up here. Okay. Now, I did take that, but I had the wrong bracket on it, and it went to break even after 4 ticks in profit, and it took me out. Okay. Should go there, should... You guys know how I just got back from Connecticut because I had to go to a funeral. My stepdad was rushed to the hospital last night at like 10 o'clock. In Connecticut. The hints just keep coming up there. Alright. So the S isn't giving any trades right now. But let's come over here and look. So with this that I'm creating over here, this is called the gamma. This you would go long after you get a green arrow. So that had a trade there a few minutes ago. This you would go short after you get a red arrow. That had a trade a few minutes ago. The swing trade had this right here, long. The scalp had this one right here, long. So I have a virtual plethora of things. What would you guys like to see me trade? And trade this guy right here. You want to just trade whatever comes up next? I mean, they're all good. Okay. Well, I got the swing trade on. I don't have it on over here. Let me turn the swing trade on over here too, Mark. And we'll see what we come up with. Alright. I only have the ES and gold going right now. If I put the NQ on here somewhere. Oops. Let me do that. I go out one more. Put the NQ on there as well. Scalp Tool. And this is the NQ on a 19 range. Do I have the NQ dom set to a 19 range? Where is my NQ dom? Hang on. Find it. Yes, I do. Okay. B rev scaled. This has got the wrong stuff showing. I want that and that showing. Okay, I'm not sure this is the right version of it, but we'll just go with what it has here. And the swing trade, turn that on. Okay, and I'll put the scalp on there too. And we'll just take what comes. Oops. Did I not click on it? I thought I clicked on it. There it is. Alright, so the scalp tool by default has this on here. It doesn't have the lead on the lead div. Alright. So this is suggesting, the swing trade right here is suggesting that a down close of this bar is going to be a trade mark. Okay. Is the range trade you were showing at the beginning a new way of trading that you're creating? Gonna have to go back and see what I actually did at the very beginning, John. There's a short right here on the NQ. Okay. The swing trade short right here on the NQ. I believe it's already gone 10 ticks into profit, right? 1650 down to 1325. Was that 10 ticks into profit? I don't know. I didn't put it on. At the beginning, the trade that I showed at the very beginning was the swing trade. It was on a range bar, the swing trade on a range bar. So it wasn't anything new, John. That was the very first thing that I did. I did the swing trade, and then I did range bars, and then I talked about the scalp trade, and then I talked about a bunch of other things. So the thing that I showed right at the beginning wasn't anything new. No, it was the swing trade that I was showing you at the very beginning. Okay. Alright, so this right here, this move down on an up close was a short. If I had that turned on, if I had the scalp arrows turned on, that was a sell right there. Okay, and this is another one on the swing trade. I gotta pay more attention. I'm sorry, I'm not focused. What is the range trigger or the range sniper? Well, I don't have either one of those on right now. The range trigger or the sniper. I don't have either one of those going right now. This fade right here was a buy right there. Okay, what time is it? 3:34. We don't have much time left for trading here, so I'm going to have to focus a little bit. An up close on this bar should turn into a black arrow if we get an up close on that bar. Okay. This is the ES that has the scalp short right there. And alright, it didn't give it to you. I was surprised. I am surprised it didn't give you the trade here. It was because this went up with it. That's why I didn't give it to you. I'm surprised that didn't give you the swing trade. I actually put the trade on. It's here. Not gonna point. 2 points. Where am I in at? 28. Up to 35 right there. It just got out. That was I put a buy stop limit order on up here. Expecting it to give us the black arrow on the up close. I don't know why it didn't give the black arrow on the up close right there. But anyway, that was right there. 28, 7 points, 28 ticks. This is a scalp short right over here on the ES. That one's not going so well. I took that too. Here it is. That was not going so well. And this is a gamma long that happened over here. I didn't take that. Let me bring up that scalp short on the ES. Here it is. Okay. Now that is on a 19 range ES. So it's got a 25 tick stop on it. Right, we'll see what happens with that one. It's got to go 10 ticks into profit to bump the stop to break even. Now, right, so we're oversold here right now on the NQ, and it's 336. We have, what is that, the gold over there? The gold has a gamma long right now. Now, I didn't really discuss the gamma with you too much because I'm still working on it. Okay. Alright, we'll see you tomorrow, Mark. What is the range trigger or the range sniper? John, to not go into a whole bunch more stuff that might confuse people here, let me just show you the range trigger I use every day. I use all the time every day. I just don't want to use it right here because it's more stuff for you to look at, and it's just, there's only so much that you guys can absorb, I think, all at once. The ES, the short right here is starting to work out now on the ES, and it's actually got a swing short from right here, and it's got the range short from right there. So either way, it's got to go 10 ticks into profit. Okay, so from 79.25 it's going to go down to 76.75, and the stop, I think it'll go to break even automatically once it does. Now over here right now on the NQ, I believe if we get an up close on that, it will. I'm just waiting to see if it goes out. It did go automatically. Okay, I'm gonna lock in 4 ticks in profit on the ES right now. If we would have gotten an up close over here, I think it would have turned into a trade. But you see how the gray arrow went away, so you don't have a trade there now. And on the ES, we had the swing trade short and the scalp trade short. That should go down here. The ES should go all the way down here to 63.50. Now I have a target down here at 68 at 45 ticks. 63.50 would be great if it gets down there, but we have 4 ticks locked in on it right now. An up close over here right now on the gold would be a long trade again. And an up close on the gold would be a long trade if it triggers. I wasn't really paying attention to the gold. This just triggered here. I wasn't really paying attention to that either. You can still grab it. That is the NQ. Here, I just jumped on the NQ one right here. Okay, I'm going to lock in some more on the ES. And we just stopped out on the NQ. Minus 25 ticks on the NQ. On the ES now we're at plus 12, 16. Now the ES should make it all the way down here. Alright, it should go all the way down there, but we're at plus 16 on that. We just stopped out minus 25 over here. Okay, so that is 16 on the ES. Minus 25 on the... I gotta put this down. I think I'm missing a trade. Hang on, John. Hang on, I'm looking for this. Alright, so we got 16 on the ES and minus 25 on the NQ. And we had another trade in there too, I don't remember what it was. It was a break even on the ES. So far we've had 3 trades. 3 trades with 1 stop out so far. And copy that down here. Okay, so we're sitting at plus 350 right now with the trades that we've taken. Right, let me just minimize this. If we were to down close here on this NQ, it'll be a short. Okay, so this, I didn't take the gold trade, did I? I didn't. That was profit. That was a stop out. Okay, we didn't get the down close in there yet. Still looking for the down close over there on the NQ. There it is. So that right there is a short on the NQ. And that stop just got bumped to break even, and it just took me on to break even. Sorry, I didn't bring it over and show it to you. But I went to break even after 10 ticks in profit. So let me just draw that in for you. That happened really fast. And let me put that in here. One more trade. One more trade. Oops. 4. Okay, this worked out over here no matter which one of those you did, but I didn't do either one. You don't have the range trader. You do have it if you want to use the trigger. John, that's what you're asking about, right? You're asking about this guy right here, the range trigger. You do have it, but you shouldn't use it with all these other things down here. Okay, the range trigger is used for like the midpoint and stuff like that. With all those other things down there, you shouldn't use that. You don't have to use it. Okay. Alright, so this up close right here should have, if I had the Scalp Tool arrows on, I think. Do I have them on? Oh, if I had the lead div on, that should have triggered. I think it should have triggered an arrow there. I don't know. I'll just leave it like this. What is that gold over there? Gold just had a swing short right there from here. Alright, the gold is on a 9 range, so that one goes to break even after 5 ticks in profit. Okay. That one should have moved to break even already. Oh, it didn't fill me, that's why. Okay, I didn't get filled on that guy. Alright. I know this seems like I'm all over the place, and I am. It's just given me, trading a whole bunch of different trade setups like this is just given a lot of different opportunities. Okay. I don't recommend you do this. I recommend you pick one and just trade it. Like I had asked earlier, do you want me to trade just one thing? And Mark said he wanted me to trade the swing trade, and then Mark left. Gotta go 5 ticks into profit to get the stop to break even. It seems like I should have already gone 5 ticks, but I don't have a very good entry. I have a horrible entry, actually. I'm off by 6 ticks on that entry. So there, stops at break even. I'm gonna lock in a couple of ticks on that. Now the gold should make it all the way up here to 203.7, but I'd be happy if it makes it up to 201.3 right here. Right, that's 500 bucks. I think gold's gonna explode right here. That's 1,000 bucks. 10 ticks. There it goes. It's 15. 17 ticks on the gold. Okay, and that was from right there. That was using the gamma. Why am I rating it there? I put it on this 17 on gold. Which one is gold? Oh, so this is 16. And this is 17. Alright, so we're at 24.50 right now. And this needs to be a 5. We're at 24.50. And we still have 15 minutes left. We got quite a bit of trading left to do. Alright. Does anybody look, see right here how this is crossing right here? If the red on a down close, if the red goes all the way down to the oversold, then we'll have a trade there. Alright. If it doesn't, then we won't. Okay. We're just not getting anything over here on this. I didn't notice that right there a few minutes ago. And the gold, that down close right there, I took it and it gave me a break even. It took it, it went into profit and it came back up and took me out of break even. I'm sorry I didn't show it to you, but I did do all that and it gave me a break even. Why am I writing it down there? Such habit. That's 6. I think it gave me a break even. It gave me a break even or plus 25, but I'm betting it was a break even. Gold. Go down to the bottom. Gold. Yeah, there it was. Dave, do I have this automated? Is that how you get in them so fast? I don't have it automated yet, Dave, but that's something that I am working on. No. I'm just paying attention to what's going on. And some of the times you see me put the order on ahead of time because I know the bar is going to close. Some of the times I wait until it closes and I just click in the green or click in the red, and that puts a limit order at the best bid or the best ask. Okay. That's why on that gold one over there, that's what I did, and that's why I was off by 6 ticks on it. On this one right here. I was off by 6 ticks on my entry. It's not usually that bad though. I don't usually get that much slippage. But the gold has a little bit of a spread to begin with right now. You see, it's got a 2 tick spread in there. So you're going to lose that on every single trade, that 2 tick spread. Right, so we don't know here on this one. Now the 19 range, as we wind down the day here, the 19 range, it may be a lot for it to trigger bars. This is a short here on the NQ. Now, here it is. In that case right there, David, I just clicked in the red. Okay, it just brought my stop to plus 1 tick. I'm going to lock in 1 point, and I'm out with 1 point. That was on the down arrow right there. I shorted that for 1 point. Okay. So in the NQ, we are now at minus 21. Oh, that's what that noise was. That was my son. Right, he must have called me earlier. Right, I got 1 point on that. Right, we have nothing right here that we can do right there. Okay, we have about 12 minutes left in this session. So we'll see how things go. We're still not at our daily average yet. We're still a little off the daily average. Hopefully we'll be able to get to that. Right now we're at 2650 in this session, 2650. The daily average on Wednesdays, the average is 4,363. So we're still off that a little bit. But I expect we will figure something out here in just a minute. Alright. I missed this trade here. I turned around to look at the noise that was behind me, and I missed this trade here. That's okay. We'll blame it all on him. Alright. Well, the NQ19 range has a scalp short right here. I had a scalp long right there that worked out really well. It's got a scalp short right here that's not really working out so well yet. It still has potential though. Now it doesn't. It did not go anywhere in favor of the trade. It just had a gap up. Now that gap's going to get filled right here. I don't know what just happened, but only that index actually gapped. Gold has a long trade right here that hasn't gone anywhere yet. Now gold in the index is usually going opposite directions, but I just took the gold trade, and here that one is. It hasn't gone enough to get the stop to break even, or my stop's not moving automatically yet. I don't know which. It should have moved. I'm going to move it. Oh. I didn't get filled. Again, that's the problem there. Okay, I thought I got filled on that. Alright, so that is a swing trade short over here on the NQ. Now it gapped down, so you might want to let it pull back and fill that gap a little bit before you jump on the trade. There, the gap's filled, and now you would look for that to continue down right now. Here it is. Okay, that stop just went to break plus a tick. There's 4 and 6 on that one. 6 on that one. Hang on. That's going to go in here. This is now minus 15. Okay, we're getting there, guys. How much time do we have left? We have 9 minutes left. That's an 8 now. We have 9 minutes left. I still haven't seen another one of those trades. The other divergence trades we're looking for. Like this guy right here. That was a signal. That was a scalp signal. Yeah, I guess it did give the arrow right there, didn't it? Alright, the NQ's got one right here. This is given a scalp signal here. The NQ is. Okay. So here's that one right now. And after 10 ticks, the stop will go to break even plus a tick like that. We'll lock in a point. 2 points, 3 points, and we're out with 12 more right there on the NQ. Okay, now we're getting there. We're almost to what we normally get. It's this one right here, 12 more on the NQ. That puts us at minus 3 on the NQ, and 9 trades. See, this is what I meant at the beginning when I said most of the trades trigger at the end of the session, or toward the end of the session, the last 15 minutes or so. That's what's happening right now. The swing trade over there on the gold. Swing trade short on the gold. You had a scalp short here on the ES, a swing trade short on the gold, and nothing going on the NQ. Okay. Now, the swing trade short on the gold is, well, that stop should have gone to break even. I think it did. Okay, I'm going to bump in 1 tick right there on the gold. The ES is right here. That hasn't gone enough yet. Okay, and we just got out of the gold. That was a swing trade short right there on the gold that I just got out of. Now, this on the ES is going to go 10 ticks into profit to bump that stop to break even. It hasn't gone 10 yet. Make sure that window stays on top. And this guy right here, we just picked up a couple of ticks on that. I keep going to click it there. The gold is this one. There's 2 more ticks there. 19, and that makes this a 10. Okay, and we're waiting to see what happens with this ES trade here right now. I didn't get the swing trade over there on the NQ, but I think you still can if you wanted to. I don't think it's gone 10 ticks into profit yet. If you want to jump on it now. Okay. Now the ES from 2, it's got to go down to right here. No, that's 8 ticks. It's got to go down to right there at 950. Okay, now you see as we get closer and closer to the close of the market here, things are starting to get a little more jumpy. We need an up close here on the gold to get a swing trade. Okay. Now that should have bumped my stop, I think. Did it? Oh, there, now it's there. Okay, I'm going to lock in a point on the ES. I'm going to lock in 2 points on the ES. 3 points on the ES. The ES actually triggered in the opposite direction right now. 4 points on the ES. Still waiting for the gold to trigger us on the swing long. And a swing long over there on the NQ too. Whoops, crap. Swing long on the NQ. We got 4 points on the ES. Looking for a swing long right here in the NQ. The NQ just, I got into that several different times, I think. So let me just see what I did with the NQ here in a second. Alright, we did get the gold too, I think. Did I get the gold? Let me check. Wait, let me do the ES first. The ES. Let me just punch that in. The ES we picked up another 16 ticks, right? It is here, so we're 32 on the ES. That's 11. Let me check and see if I did do the gold. I did not do the gold. Okay, and the NQ. Let me see if I can figure out what I did on the NQ. Wow. I bought 20. Okay, I lost something on the NQ. Here, I'll show you. I don't know how the heck I did that, but I did. This is what I did on the NQ. So I accidentally double clicked it there at 25.50, and so I lost 3 ticks there, and from 25.50 down to 19 I lost 1, 5, 24, 26 ticks altogether, I think, is what I ended up losing there on the NQ. Let me put that in. That was 2 trades. A total of minus 26. So that goes to minus 29. I'll add 2 more trades over here. Right, now that wasn't really a stop out, but I'll mark it as a stop out. There's 1 stop out. We're pretty close to what our average is in here now. We're at 44.50. Hey, we are at the average is 44.30. Well, roughly. I gotta change it a little bit over there. But while I was doing that, there was another gold trade right here. That's a gold long. There was a trade here that I didn't do. There was a trade here I didn't do. There's a trade here I didn't do. Now the NQ, I think you can still jump on that if you want to. The gold, you can't. And the ES didn't go anywhere, so there's no trade there on the ES for you to do. Okay. Alright, so the gold here. Gold, I'm gonna bump to plus 1 tick right now. And what time is it? 3:57. 5 ticks. And I'm out with 5 on the gold. Right, and that was doing the swing trade. That's the gamma right there. It wasn't actually a swing trade. 5 ticks on the gold. Hang on, let me get my thing open here again. Gold, this one. 24. Alright, it's 3:58. Now I haven't done this yet today in this session. If you haven't taken a free trial, go here to mytradingiq.com. Go here to tvtrades.com. If you haven't taken the trial, go to tvtrades.com and just go down to here. Click on any one of these orange buttons. Bring it down to the bottom. It's a 3-day trial. Click on that for the weekly, that for the monthly, that for the annual. The annual is 30.7% cheaper than the weekly. The monthly is 20.7% cheaper than the weekly on an annual basis. Okay? That get started with us. If you haven't done it yet, that's how you do it. All right. Now, pretty much every one of these sessions, you make enough to pay for your subscription. Pretty much every Wednesday we've done. If I look at that sheet again, there's another long here on gold. Sorry, here it is. Another one on gold. Gotta lock in 2 ticks on that. 5 ticks on that. That's $500 with 10 contracts right there. And we're up with 5 more on the gold. Alright, you're about to have a short here on the NQ. See all those gray arrows pointing down? You need a down close to have the short on the NQ. Now the NQ is the only thing we're negative on right now. So a down close on this bar right here would be a short on the NQ. Nope, we didn't get the down close, and now we might not get one because it didn't give it right there. We might not get one at all. That bar kind of screwed things up. Oh, wait, you could get one now. It could happen now. There it is. There it is. Alright, it's got a 25 tick stop, and it just stopped me up. Minus 25. Alright, so the NQ is whooping me. So we got 5 over there, right, on the gold. And we lost 25 over here on the NQ. So that's almost a wash overall. Minus 25. 49, 53, 54, minus 54 total. In the gold we got 5 more. 29. This becomes a 16, and this becomes a 3. Alright, and the NQ is about to give another short right here. Okay, right there. Let's see. It is 4 o'clock. I gotta wrap things up. I believe my son is here waiting for me somewhere. So I haven't seen him in a little bit. Alright. The short on the NQ right here. That just gave me a break even. I'm sorry I didn't bring it over and show you, but it went 10 ticks in a profit. It actually gave me a +1. Went 10 ticks in a profit, came back and got me out with 1 tick. So, got 1 tick on that. I guess we have had some stuff in there. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. It is time. Not that. This is what we ended up with today. Not today. Today, this is what we ended up with in the morning session. 1,317 per contract in the morning session. And in this session, let's enter those last couple of things in here. There was 1 tick on the NQ. So we got minus 53. And 17 trades. Alright, so this is how we're going to wrap it up for this session. This needs to be a 28. We just missed the average. Alright, well, anyway, in this session so far, guys, we took 17 trades with 3 stop-outs. We had, let's see what that average is. If I copy that, paste it there. That's 82.3% of our trades were break-even or better. Minus 53 on the NQ, plus 29 on gold, plus 32 on the ES. So I didn't trade the YM at all. 17 trades in this session. That's a lot of trades. But as I said, most of them happened in the last 15 minutes, and they did. So we're at 42.50 in this session with 10 contracts. With 1, we're at 425. All right. So far, in all of the trading that we have done on these Wednesday afternoon sessions, we're up $119,425. Averaging $4,265 per session, or $426 with 1 contract, or $42.65 with a micro. Any one of those is enough to pay for the weekly subscription, right? And then some. So if you have not taken the free trial, you really should. You know, there's a lot of different options in here, as I've shown you. There's a ton of different options. You can pick one, which is what we usually do. I didn't really mean to trade everything in here, but I want to show you that everything works in its own way. The swing trades, we probably did better on the swing trades than everything else, but I mean the scalp trades are working great too. You know, this one right here, this one right over here, they're working great too. So you just have to choose what you want. The swing trade, as I said in the very beginning of the whole session, the swing trade is the easiest one to put on your chart. the easiest one to do. You don't need to have anything else on there. Just have that swing trade on. And in this session, you can see there was that one right there, that one right there, that one, that one. This is the only one that stopped out right there. So in the whole session, well, that would have been a stop out too. But you had some really nice trades there using just a swing trade. Okay. Alright, so I've shown you how to take the free trial. This recording is going to be here later on today. It's going to be at Target View Trades. It's going to be here at targetviewtrades.com. Click on upcoming and past webinars. It will be right here. Alright. I think I might make this the home page. It will have all the most recent things right here on this. But last week's we went over money management when stopping at the goal is not enough. We went over that last week. And so this week I went over the swing trade in the beginning. I went over the scalp trade in the beginning, the two different versions of the scalp trade. I didn't really touch on the gamma version, though I did take a trade or two from it. And we also talked about range bars in this one. Now, Thomas, I have to send you an email. I remember that. Oh, great, Rico. And if any of you guys have any questions, hang on. You can email me at support@targetviewtrades.com, support@targetviewtrades.com. Right, I'm going to shut off the recording right here.